Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl goldynaps and I am back with another protective style tutorial. Ooh, who would have thought that I would do 2 protective styles in a row and make them look cute? Not me, but here we are. Got you with the butterfly lock tutorial. Yes, these turned out so much cuter than I thought that they would. And let me tell you, I struggled. These were a lot more difficult than I thought they would be. And they were definitely more difficult than passion twists. So if you, like, in my opinion, if you are deciding between trying these and trying passion twists, I would say try passion twists first. I watched multiple tutorials before trying these, and I ultimately did not do what they told me to do in the tutorials, okay? Most people used crochet hook, and I found the crochet hook to be insufferable. I could not use it. It was like causing breakage at my roots. It kept getting caught in my, in my hair. It just like wasn't putting the hair through my braid. Like, it was a struggle. So these were kind of difficult. Even when I got the hang of the technique, like, I would still mess some up. It was just really frustrating. But it turned out really cute. Like, halfway through, I was thinking it was going to be hideous. I also thought that I did like way too many of them, but ultimately I feel like the amount that I did was good. I definitely have way more in the bottom section than I have at the top section. But, you know, after all that struggling, it turned out pretty cute. We live and we learn. Next time I might do things a little bit differently. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I got these butterfly locks, please keep watching and I hope you enjoy. Ooh, okay, so I have all my hair parted. And literally it's a waste of time for you to braid all of your hair because it's going to be in a lock anyways. And I heard a lot, like when I mentioned on my Instagram that I was gonna do this hairstyle, a lot of people were telling me that the takedown process is really frustrating and annoying because you can't clearly see where you need to cut the hair. And I did a little research. And what I found was that if you make sure that the hair within the lock is pretty short, you can cut enough that you won't cut your own hair. So you apparently just like wrap your hair up like this and then rubber band it off so that you make sure that like your ends are like out of the way and you can like kind of snip off the ends of your locks without cutting off your own hair. So I'm gonna use the same rubber bands I used when I did the rubber band method for my passion twists. And I'm going to kind of like band up all the ends of my hair. I am using the crochet method. I have never done that before. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I will like it. I honestly didn't really want to do the crochet method, but like the majority of the videos that I watched did use that, and it seemed like it was an easier takedown process as well. I don't know how confident I would be in my own locking skills to just like lock it in there without using the crochet method. I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna use crochet because that's what I saw. And I chose not to record the actual parting process, but if you do want to see like what I kind of do to do that, I do talk about it briefly in my passion twist tutorial video. But yeah, I kind of parted it in the same way. Honestly, if we are being real here, I did get lazy with making the straight lines. My parts are definitely not as straight as they were when I did my passion twist video, but I honestly just did not want to sit here for 3 hours. I think this took me like an hour and a half, maybe 2, but like when I did my passion twist, I was like parting for 4 hours and it was not fun at all. So I just did these a little sloppier, you know. Really, the top ones are the ones that you need to be worried about and make sure look neat. The rest of them, like, I realize you don't really end up seeing them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The back, I'm sure, is a hot mess, but who's gonna see it? Not y'all. So I just wanted to show you guys what this little technique that I'm doing looks like, which is supposed to make the takedown process of these butterfly locks a lot easier. So I'm basically like folding my hair up and wrapping it upwards and then securing it with an elastic band. That way, my locks are probably going to be like right above my boob area, and that way I can just cut the ends off without worrying about cutting my hair, because my hair is going to stop at my collarbone. So as long as I don't, and like these ones up here are like much shorter. So for the bottom one, the bottom layer of my hair, as long as I cut it, you know, below my collarbone, I'm not going to touch any of my hair. And the way that you do that is you just take a piece of your hair, fold it over your finger, and then wrap it upwards, which is actually a pretty similar technique to what I will be doing to actually do the butterfly locks at the ends. But you just fold it upwards and then take an elastic band, and you secure it like that. And you can make them, you know, as long or as short as you want. I might actually shorten some of the ones at the bottom, but that is the basic technique. All right, you guys, it is day 2 of working on these faux locks. I only have my top section left, which I always put 12 parts in my top section. And this has been a journey. This has been a process. It is that time of the day where I tell you guys what I learned, my little tips and tricks. Oh my gosh, sorry, there are gnats. So first of all, I would just like to say that passion twists are much easier to do. I despise this crochet needle. I literally stopped using it. I did the first like 5 with it and I was like about to cry out of frustration. I'm one of those people that cries out of frustration, and I had to collect myself because this was not easy to use. I don't know why every video that I watched was like, oh, just use your crochet needle. Did you know that this does not lock? Like, it does not lock. So every time I was trying to put hair in, it would open up and then the hair would slide off and I got nowhere. And then on top of that, sometimes when I would try to remove the little crochet needle from within my braid, the hook would get caught on my hair, and then I was just like, okay, now I'm causing breakage. Like, this is a problem. I'm actually I'm annoyed. Jail time for whoever recommended this, because no. So the crochet needle did not work. It was very frustrating. And then I made these into like a little bob, you know. I like to switch it up. I like to do different things. And I feel like these butterfly locks are just a mess waiting to happen. Like, you have to be real sloppy with it to get the sort of like butterfly effect. And I don't know, I'm not feeling secure in them. I'm hoping that they last, but I feel like they are definitely not going to last as long as my passion twist. And most of the videos that I watched about getting passion twists were like, oh, like, watch out, they don't last very long. I had no issues with my passion twists, okay? Those things were sturdy. And these, we're just gonna have to wait and see, because I don't know, they're just a little, the sloppiness is just making them a little questionable. Another thing is, I absolutely loved this X-Trend hair for my passion twists. I thought they matched my natural hair color really well, and then it gave that sort of ombre effect. This hair with this hairstyle is a whole different ballgame. Because the majority of my natural hair is covered. So my natural hair is obviously a little bit darker than the hair that I'm using. So there isn't really an ombre effect. It's just my roots are dark and then the hair is light. So, and additionally, because I made them a bob, you have to twist back up to make it a bob. So the middle section of the butterfly lock is super light. It's like darker hair, lighter hair, and then darker hair at the bottom. So that look, it's giving me patchy highlights. I don't know. It's just not, this hairstyle is just a lot more frustrating than I thought it was going to be. And there's just a lot of aspects of it that I don't like. All right, so I've got my one little braid out here, and honestly, if I had to redo this style, I probably would not even braid my hair up because I did not end up using the crochet needle, so that was a huge waste of time. I'll probably use the rubber band method again because I just liked that, and when your hair is not braided up, you have a lot more volume, so I feel like it would have given more thickness to the locks. And I also feel like I did way too many of them. I did way more locks than I did passion twists, just because all the videos that I watched, people had like 30 locks, and I think I only had like 26 or 27 twists, but people had like 30 to 40 locks. I was like, okay, let me do more parts. It's just a lot. It's a lot, you guys. I just really hope this turns out cute because I don't want to live with the disappointment of it not being cute, because I will take that shit right out. I will take it right out. I don't care how much time I wasted. I'm not looking like a goofy for nobody. So for this style, you're taking 3 pieces of hair. If you recall, for my passion twist video, I'm using the same hair from that. My twist had like 2 twists within them, so if you're using that logic, I'm using 1.5 twists to do 1 lock. So we're taking our 3 pieces of hair that I've, fluffed out, looking cute. Also, I'm so sorry, there's still construction going on in my building, so I'm really sorry if it's loud. I'm using a different mic this time, so I'm hoping that you can hear me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our piece of hair that we braided up, and we're going to, just like I did in my passion twist tutorial, braid hair into our hair. So I'm literally gonna braid into a braid. So you wanna loop that around. Try to keep it tight. And just braid a couple times. Okay, so I've braided that in there, and because this is a lock and I don't want a braid sticking out at the top, I'm gonna take a piece of hair and I'm gonna wrap that around the base where I braided, just to like cover that up. It's just to have like additional security. I've seen people just start the lock by just wrapping. I don't know if I'm that confident in my locking skills to do that, so I'm doing like a braid and then securing it with the lock on top, and then you're just going to continue wrapping downwards. At the top part of the lock, I'm pretty neat because I don't want it sliding out. But really the butterfly effect that you want is like, it's like a distressed lock, so you kind of want to get sloppy eventually, but you don't want to get too sloppy too early, or it looks like a mess and it like falls apart. Oh gosh, very like over this hairstyle at this point. So okay, so you want to start wrapping looser at about this point. And really, the way that I saw it described in one tutorial that I liked, which I will link below, is you're kind of just like tossing the hair over your braid. Like toss it over. Oh gosh, kind of not. Just rip it out. Sorry. So you kind of just want to toss it over and then bring it back around. And then toss it over again. Like really, there's just no precision. But when you get to the part where my hair is right here and it's kind of looped around, I found that even though that technique makes it easier for takedown, it makes actually installing them very annoying and very difficult, because it's kind of like a bulb at the end of your braid instead of just like tapering off as it would if I didn't twist it up like that. So what I do is, just as I did at the base, I really focus on that bottom part and make it a little tighter, just so that little bulb at the end of my braid does not stick out, because that would be very annoying. And unlike passion twists, if you mess up, it's not as easy to just unravel and redo, because really you're like wrapping the hair around itself. It's creating knots, creating a mess, so it's not as easy to just take out and do over. So you really want to make sure that you get all of your hair covered first time around, because I have definitely tried to redo them and it is a hot mess. Okay, so we're at the bottom of my natural hair, but obviously that is not the length that we're going for. So what you're gonna do is you kind of twist it around your natural hair at this point, and it'll hold. So now look to where you want your actual lock length to be. And you're gonna take your finger, put it there, and then fold it back up like so. And then you're gonna take the rest of the hair and start twisting back up. You know, not too tight either. Just wrap it around. And then wrap back down. I kind of like to keep that whole wrap up process staying between the end of my lock and where that like end of my braid is, just because, you know, you have a braid and the hair up top, so it's a little thicker. So just to add that thickness to the end, just keep wrapping up and down between the end of your hair and the end of your lock. I feel like that makes sure that you get the thickness and consistency that you want all the way through. And then it's finished. You don't need to secure it with like hot water or anything. Just rub it between your hands and the hair will hold. I don't know how it holds, but I think it's just the texture of it kind of like locks into other strands of hair. So that is one butterfly lock. Cute. And I can show you guys one where I actually kind of messed up, and I did not keep the twisting up and down just between the end of my hair and then the lock. I kind of like went way up and then went way back down. And as you can see, like this one is kind of like it's a little floppy. She's not too sturdy, but these ones like don't flop around as much. They're definitely more sturdy. The ones that flop around a little bit more, they have less hair at the bottom, so they just don't have the same like sturdiness. I personally prefer it to be a little more stiff, a little bit more confident, and it lasting longer by doing that. So I'm gonna bring the camera a little bit closer and I'm gonna show you guys how I do it again, just so you get a close up. And yeah. All right, so we are much closer to my face now. Welcome. I'm going to be working on this piece here. I've already got my strands of hair kind of fluffed out. Remember, I'm using 3 pieces. When I did my passion twist, I used 4, but for this I'm using 3. I found 2 was just not enough, and the end would kind of look not lively, not good. It was a little thin at the end, so 3 was kind of that sweet spot where I got the right thickness all the way through. So as I mentioned, when I did the first twist, I did not use my crochet hook. I braided my hair into my braid. So what you're gonna do is lay your braiding hair or twisting hair, whatever you want to call it, at the base. Put all of your twisting hair on one side. Come back around. So now we have 3 strands as a regular braid, and then you just braid regularly for a little bit. Oops, Sorry, my camera's like going in and out of focus. It's really annoying. Okay. So now that we have, you want to braid it like a little bit and then have your braid and your braiding hair on one side so that then you can wrap. As I mentioned, I wrap sort of upwards to cover that knot at the top, just because I don't want a braid poking out when it's supposed to be a lock. So I wrap upwards to cover the knot, and I feel like that just gives me a little bit more security. And then once I cover up that knot, I start wrapping downwards. And I wrap it pretty tightly at the base. And then I start wrapping it looser because that's how you get the butterfly effect. And like I explained, somebody kind of described it as just like tossing the hair over and pulling it. And that has been working for me in terms of getting some of those little, you know, curls to pop out, which is really the distressed look that you want to have. And some of them that I have done are a lot more distressed than others. Really just figure out what look that you are going for. Just wrap it looser if you know, want your look to, you know, be looser. And we're getting to the end of my hair here. And like I mentioned, I don't have a lot of hair left over. But for this bulbous part, it's kind of thick. And I really want it to lay down underneath my hair. So I really focus on wrapping that really tightly. Because I don't want it sticking out. I don't want it coming out. I want it to lay flat. But I do want the ease of taking it out later on. So then, like I mentioned, look to where you want your length of your lock to be. Mine is around here. So I'm gonna then fold it and start twisting upwards. And like I mentioned, I like to keep that upward twisting part focused between the end of my natural hair and the end of the lock, which is not a very big section. But. And then you just wrap until you can't wrap anymore. A little bit of my hair is sticking out, but I'm just gonna kind of move the lock around to cover it up. And then I rub it between my hands. And there you have it. This one's a little tighter than the other ones that I did, but that is the gist of the technique that I've been doing and how I've been getting sort of this butterfly look. So I'm gonna finish up and I'm gonna come back when I'm done and show you guys, sorry, a little burp. I'm gonna show you guys the finished look when I'm done locking all of my hair up. I think I did this because 2 hours ago I was real scared this was about to turn out ugly and that would have wasted hella time, but I turned that ship around because look at me now, it actually turned out fantastic. I would do this again. I was really hating it when I was doing it, but I am proud of how far we have come. I actually it doesn't look cute parted down the middle, so I've flipped it over to the side. I'll show you how it looks parted down the middle. It's just not a look that I like. It's very flat. It's very not what I like. We like volume in this household, so yeah, I'm liking it like this. I feel like the different lengths definitely give it better volume, so we're gonna go and stick with this. But this is the finished look. I really like it. I hope that you guys liked it. I hope the tutorial was easy and simple. I know some people add foam. I don't know really if that does anything, but you guys can let me know in the comments if it does. Like, I'm not like, would it get rid of frizz, but the style is supposed to be kind of frizzy? I have no idea. Maybe I'll add some foam after doing some research, but this is the finished look. Oh my god, like, comment down below what protective style I should try after this, because I'm feeling so good about myself because this is the second one in a row that I've done and it's come out cute. I don't know why it's taking me so long to actually try doing protective styles myself. Like, I was wasting so much money. I was wasting so much money having other people do them. So that is pretty much it for this video. I will have the hair and the tutorials that I watched linked down below. Yeah, I hope you guys like this. Comment down below other things you want to see me do. Please subscribe and like this video, and I hope that I catch you guys in the next one. Bye.